MegaMan Battle Network isn't your typical Mega Man game. Instead of a super fighting robot, Mega Man is an AI navigating a digital network, fighting viruses in grid-based battles. The action blends RPG mechanics, deck-building strategy, and fast-paced combat using battle chips with unique abilities. In this video, we'll dive into the world of Mega Man Battle Network, complete the story, collect every chip, and face the secret boss lurking in the deepest part of the net. And before we start, if you enjoy this kind of content, please consider subscribing and leaving a like. It really helps out a lot. We start the game with Lan Hikari, the main character. He is sleeping while Mega Man, in his PET, is resting on the nightstand, trying to wake him up. Mega Man reads the news that the WWW, which means World 3 in this game, is trying to control the net. Lan finally wakes up, and it's time to start our adventure. We head downstairs, eat breakfast, and say goodbye to our mom. Now it's time for school. Our friend Mail is waiting for us, and she mentions that people's ovens are spitting fire. It could be the work of the World 3. At school, we meet our friends Yai and Dex. Yai explains how the PETs work, basically futuristic smartphones. Dex challenges us to a net battle, but the bell saves him. In class, we're introduced to virus busting, which acts as the tutorial. We jack into the school network and fight weak viruses. Here's how battles work. You can choose chips, but to pick multiple chips, they must either be the same type, e.g. 2 cannons, or the same chip code, e.g. Cannon A and Bomb A. You can skip selecting chips to add 5 more to your pool for the next turn. Battles are fast paced, and while you can use your weak buster, which does 1 damage per shot initially, upgrades later make it more viable. After the tutorial, Dex insists on a net battle. We fight his Gutsman. It's not too hard, but our chips are still weak at this point. We finish him off with the Legacy Collection download chip, Base. Back home, we jack into the doghouse, because, in this world, everything is connected to the internet. Inside, we find some goodies. Then we head home. We meet a man checking the house's control panel, for safety, due to ovens bursting into flames. Upstairs, we jack into our computer to access the net. Here, we meet Glide, Yai's net navi. He mentions one of their programs is lost on the internet, and asks if we can retrieve it. We find the lost Mr. Prog, these cute, green, floating robot-looking guys, which is how most programs look in this game. After reuniting Glide with his program, we jack out and hear our mom screaming. The oven has burst into flames. We jack into the oven's network, assuming a virus is behind it. Inside, there are literal, or rather digital, fires everywhere. One Mr. Prog gives us the ice block program to navigate by turning off flames. The situation worsens and Mega Man is in danger. We receive a call from the repairman. Turns out he's a World 3 member in disguise. Mr. Match. He and his Navi, Fireman, are behind the chaos. We grab a water gun to calm the flames and save Mega Man. With Ice Block, we traverse the fiery oven and reach the end, where we meet Fireman, our first boss fight. Battle routine set. Execute! Fireman jumps around the grid. If you hit him with a strong chip mid-attack, it flinches him. After some damage and dodging, we finish him off using our chips and buster. Mr. Match is shocked that we beat Fireman, but smugly declares his mission is already complete. He stole a special program from our oven, needed for the World 3 plan. Our mom, whose name is Haruka, though we'll probably never use it, thanks us for saving the house. With our winnings, we buy an HP memory to increase our health. Power-ups are available too, which let us upgrade charge, power, or speed for the buster. Once we can afford them, we'll focus on charge for its massive damage boost when fully charged. With that, we jack out and head to bed. We are shown a cutscene from several days later. At night, a man with wild hair and glasses is standing in front of the school. He says, "This is the place." Creepy. The next morning, Lan is running late again. Mega Man points out he tried waking him up multiple times. We check a little around the school to find items. This is an RPG after all. And then sneak into class. Here we see someone that looks familiar. It's the same guy from the cutscene. His name is Mr. Higsby, and he likes collecting rare chips. Miss Mary, our teacher, is not here, and Higsby says she got sick, so we get study hall. Suddenly, the blackboard goes haywire, announcing a World 3 re-education program. A brainwashing scheme. Dex tries to save the day, but gets Gutsman deleted. Luckily, he has a backup. Now it's our turn. Jack in! The school's network is full of digital classrooms with pencil-themed roads. Along the way, we solve puzzles involving passcodes. Some require counting objects in classrooms, while others rely on trial and error. Eventually, MegaMan is caught in a trap near the AV room. Lan heads there to reset the trap and saves him. Classic IT move. Deeper in the network, we encounter gates requiring staff IDs. We find our teacher, Miss Mary, tied up in the storage room. She gives us her ID, and we proceed to fight Mr. Higsby's Navi, Numberman. Numberman's gimmick is math-based attacks. He summons numbered balls you must destroy before they hit you, a time bomb you must defuse, and a die that deals damage multiplied by its roll. We beat him, and Mr. Higsby realizes joining World 3 to buy rare chips was a bad idea. That's like becoming a terrorist for rare Pokemon cards. Lan tells him to make amends by helping others. We restart the server and return everything to normal. Our friends thank us, and now it's time for... oh man, English class? After class, we decide to visit our dad at Scilab to surprise him. Sadly, the metro isn't running due to a landslide on the network. Seems like it's being caused by a virus, so we head to the net to figure out what's wrong. In the net, we run into Fireman V3. After defeating bosses, you can find their ghosts in the net, which are stronger versions. Most bosses have V2 and V3 forms, but some only have 2. These ghosts are how you grind for boss Navi chips. We defeat him with our own Fireman and keep exploring. We reach the transition area from Internet Zone 1 to Internet Zone 2, but it's locked, courtesy of Dex. We head to his house to ask for the key, but of course, we first have to defeat him and Gutsman again. The fight isn't too hard. Gutsman moves include causing shockwaves by slamming the ground, breaking your panels so you can only step on them once before they disappear temporarily, and punching you if you get close. We finish him off with a roll chip, and he gives us access to the next internet zone. After navigating the maze-like Internet Zone 2, we find the cause of the landslide, a giant Navi named Stoneman, working for the World 3. Battle routine, set, execute! This boss doesn't move. He summons rock cubes and pounds the floor to make boulders fall on you. We finish him off with a fireman chip and a few buster shots. With Stoneman defeated, we shoot down the rock blocking the trains and restore the metro service. We buy our ticket and ride the metro to the government complex. The complex has 2 organizations, the Waterworks and Scilab. Before heading to our dad's lab, we jack into a vending machine to farm heater chips from a blowfish-like virus. Heater chips are F-coded, the same code as base. And since we're basing our folder around base, this is a great addition. After grinding for 10 heater chips, we move on. We reach our dad's lab, but he's not there. We jack into his computer to see if he left the promised power-up program, but no luck. We leave a message with his computer's Mr. Prog and head outside. There, we meet a lady selling sandwiches. After a chat, we end up battling her Navi, Woodman. Woodman is a giant Navi with moves that summon massive wooden spikes. When he jumps, spikes erupt from the ground. He can also plant his hands on the floor to summon spikes faster, and throw seeds that turn into more spikes. Seems like he has a thing for spikes. After defeating him, we head back home, to ACDC Town, via the metro. Our dad emails us, apologizing for being busy and attaching the power-up to the email. We upgrade MegaMan, and jack into the internet to buy more upgrades. 1 month later, MegaMan has to wake us up again, because we're late for weekend class. When we get downstairs, our mom tells us there's no water, so no breakfast for us either. Hungry and annoyed, we head to school. Mail is waiting for us outside, and says there's no water at her place either, and school is having the same problem. Yai mentions that a kid from school has gone missing. Before long, school gets cancelled because of the water issues. MegaMan suggests we head to the Waterworks to see what's going on. On the way there, we notice a new store has opened, Higsby's Chip Shop. He's turned over a new leaf after leaving the World 3. Here you can buy chips, but more importantly, use the chip trader and super trader. The trader lets you trade in 3 chips for 1 random one, while the super trader requires 10 chips and gives rarer results. Naturally, we spend a long time here farming 4 more base chips, because we're basing our folder around him.
Stop it. Get some help.
And picking up 3 F-code barrier chips, which block 1 attack. We continue to the waterworks, and Yai sends us a message revealing that the missing kid was actually kidnapped. Once there, we see a boy talking to the receptionist, Chad, an official net battler. He's around our age, but works for the government, fighting viruses and evil navies. He's not impressed to see us, and brushes off saying, "Kids shouldn't be here." Since we're not official net battlers, we aren't allowed in, so we borrow our dad's ID card from his office to get access. Inside we meet Dr. Freud, the person in charge, who mentions there's a bug in the pump program and assures us it'll be fixed soon. We jack into a nearby computer and farm the last chip we need for our folder, Tri-Spear F from Piranha viruses. With that, our folder is ready. We also add a High Cannon F chip because we're missing 1 chip. Not convinced, MegaMan feels something is off and suggests we wait until everyone leaves so we can investigate. At night, we sneak back into the waterworks. A lady with orange hair and fluffy pigtails stops us and tells us to leave, but as soon as she's gone, we jack into the waterworks network. The network is full of giant water pipes, and some of the floor is frozen over. Sliding on the ice forces us to move in straight lines, and there are water pumps we need to toggle on or off to clear paths or melt the ice. Deeper into the network, we encounter MegaMan.EXE, Chad's Navi. MegaMan confuses ProtoMan with a World 3 Navi, which offends ProtoMan. He retaliates with a slash, but Chad stops him, saying they're too busy for us right now, and they leave. Deeper in, we meet a friendly neighborhood Navi, and notice a nearby water pump that's missing a handle, preventing us from progressing. We find another route, where the water supply program has been frozen solid. Before we can fix it, 2 giant polar bear viruses ambush us. After taking them out, we shoot the frozen program to unfreeze it, restoring part of the water supply. We return to town to check if everything is back to normal. The water is running again, but now it's poisonous sludge. One man even collapses in front of the school fountain after drinking it. Yai messages us, revealing the kidnapped kid is actually Dr. Freud's son, and World 3 is blackmailing him. We find a suspicious car parked near the school, and out of it rolls Dr. Freud's son. He explains the situation and gives us the missing handle program. Back in the waterwork network, we use the handle to activate the pump and proceed. After solving a big ice puzzle, we see ProtoMan standing over another Navi he just defeated. ProtoMan leaves, saying it was a decoy, and we learn the World 3 has stolen the Aqua program, one of the super programs they need for their plan. Now it's time to fight Iceman. Iceman's fight is all about managing the ice blocks he summons on each row. These can be broken with enough damage. He also throws ice grenades that explode in a plus-shaped pattern and freeze you if you're hit. With the flow of our folder, we manage to win even without relying on base. After defeating Iceman, he removes the ice blocking the filter program. Suddenly, an alarm goes off, and we're taken to a cutscene where ProtoMan is fighting the friendly Navi from earlier. Except, he's not friendly at all. It's Colorman, a World 3 Navi, and he's stealing the Aqua program. Colorman is called away by Miss Mad, the orange-haired lady from earlier. Chad scolds us for messing around and leaves. Dr. Freud reunites with his son, and while the water is safe again, the World 3 is clearly getting closer to their goal. We're shown a cutscene of the World 3 headquarters, where Dr. Wily is furious that all their plans keep failing. The henchmen complain about how MegaMan and Lan are proving too powerful. Miss Mad, however, claims to have a plan to deal with us. During the discussion, they reference the life virus, describing it as a super secret weapon that requires the 4 super programs to function. Interestingly, Dr. Wily seems to recognize our name. The scene cuts to MegaMan, doing some maintenance on the network when Roll shows up with a letter from Mail. She writes about Yai's birthday coming up and suggests we go to Den City to find a present together. We meet up with Mail, who says she has to stop by her grandma's house and asks us to go ahead. Once we arrive in Den City, we explore a bit before finding an antique store, run by a woman named Miyu. She challenges us to a battle using her Navi, MegaMan.EXE. Skullman's main move in this fight is spitting mystical fire, that travels in a straight line. Later on, he'll reveal another move where he detaches his arms, turning them into homing scythes. After defeating him, we decide this is a good place to get Yae's present. Now we just have to wait for mail. As we're waiting, chaos erupts. All the traffic lights turn green simultaneously, causing cars to crash into each other. The barriers that usually stop vehicles fail to function properly. It turns out, Miss Mad is behind this mess, using it to sell a program for 1 million zenny that claims to prevent car crashes. We jack into the traffic light network to fix things. This part is puzzle heavy, with intersections where we toggle lights to activate either blue or red paths. At the end of each section, we press a button to fix that specific intersection. After clearing multiple intersections, we reach the central control hub to stop Miss Mad's plan. Miss Mad, furious that we foiled her scheme, declares she'll make all traffic lights break and warns us we're about to lose someone dear to us. Just then, we get an emergency call from Mail. She's trapped on a runaway bus, and all the lights ahead are green. The situation escalates when Miss Mad calls to taunt us, revealing she's placed a virus in the bus gas program, threatening to make it explode. We jack into traffic lights along Mail's bus route, racing to slow it down. At each intersection, we solve puzzles to turn lights red and activate barriers, but the bus keeps speeding through. At one point, the barrier slows it down slightly, but it's not enough. After clearing multiple intersections, we finally manage to stop the bus just in time. But before it can explode, Roll confronts Miss Mad's Navi, Colorman, to stop the detonation. We jack in to assist Roll. Battle routine set! Execute! Colorman's fight is chaotic. He has 2 punching dolls, one red and one blue. Hitting the red one triggers fire towers, while the blue one summons water towers. Colorman himself attacks by throwing the ball he sits on, which bounces across the grid following you. Despite the chaos, we manage to defeat him using yet another base chip, for good measure. With Colorman eliminated, MegaMan saves Roll and Lan saves the day. Mail and Lan share a cute moment after the bus ordeal, then casually decide to go back to buying Yae's present, like their lives weren't just in danger seconds ago. The scene shifts back to the World 3 headquarters. Dr. Wily is still determined and orders Count Zap to strike the town and end this once and for all. Back to Lan, and of course, we're hungry. Luckily, our dad invites us to a fancy dinner at SciLab. Before heading out, we let our mom know about the dinner, and she starts getting ready, which means she's going to take forever. While she's busy, we go ahead. Outside, there's a new fish vendor named Masa. Naturally, he challenges us to a battle with his Navi, SharkMan.EXE. SharkMan fight is no joke. He starts submerged with 3 fins moving across the grid. To deal any real damage, you have to hit the right fin to bring him out of the water. AoE chips work wonders here. If you stand in front of the wrong fin, it flies at you with insane speed, and when SharkMan finally surfaces, he summons water towers to attack. This battle's tough, but after some persistence, we manage to beat him. Inside SciLab, we run into Chod, who's predictably condescending. This isn't the place for little boys to be playing games. He leaves, as smug as ever. Soon after, our dad and mom arrive and we head to the party. At the party, we talk to various guests, and our dad starts asking questions about us and MegaMan. Before he can say much, he's paged and has to leave. Suddenly, Count Zap appears on stage, announcing that we've all been invited to the World 3 Party of Death. They've taken over the power plant, causing a blackout that shuts down the air vents. People will suffocate if we don't act fast. We need to get downstairs to the power plant, but the stairs are blocked. Lan, ever resourceful, uses the trash chute to slide down to the control room. There, we jack in MegaMan into the network, but because there's no electricity, we have to rely solely on the pet's battery. This means MegaMan can't heal after battles, a mechanic that becomes a staple in future games. The power plant network is frustrating. The platforms are covered with antennas receiving electricity, and the floor is lit with flashing lights. The first major headache, invisible paths. I highly recommend using a map here, because wandering blindly is a nightmare. The second challenge involves batteries. You place them in slots and press a button to reveal paths. But if you guess wrong, the batteries are consumed, and you have to recharge them by walking all the way back to Mr. Prog. And all of this happens with the game's brutal random encounter. The only hint you get is that batteries will never be placed in adjacent slots. Seriously, use the map. I've linked it to save yourself the hassle. Along the way, we encounter corrupted Mr. Progs and have to fight them. After navigating the invisible roads and using the batteries to reveal paths, MegaMan unlocks the door to the generator room. We face Electman, but every bit of damage we deal is healed by the electricity he's absorbing. Electman declares he can't be stopped as long as the generator is running. So Lan does the unthinkable. He turns off the generating, putting himself at risk to stop the World 3. With the generator off, we fight Electman again. He summons electricity towers that zap between each other but can be destroyed. He also rains lightning from the sky. It's a tough fight, but with base on our side and some charged buster shots, we delete him. Unfortunately, we're too late. The World 3 already has the Elec super program. At this point, the World 3 possesses all 4 programs. The fire program from our oven, the aqua program from the waterworks, the Elec program we just failed to save, and the wood program, implied to already be in their hands. As Electman is deleted, ProtoMan arrives, intending to extract the World 3 server location from Electman's data, but we've already destroyed it, ruining ProtoMan's plan. Furious, Chad orders ProtoMan to delete MegaMan for causing so much trouble. ProtoMan is unlike any Navi we fought before. You can't attack him until he attacks you. If you try, he raises a shield and becomes invulnerable. He has 2 main moves, jumping forward to slash you with his sword and charging his blade to strike across the entire row. It's a tricky battle, but we spam base chips and manage to defeat him. ProtoMan is shocked that a civilian Navi bested him, especially since net battler Navis like him don't need operators to send chips. They can handle it themselves. MegaMan tells ProtoMan that we won because we fight as a team. Lan and MegaMan work together as friends. We turn the generator back on and head back upstairs to check on Mom. Lan is still hungry, so we stop for some food on the way home. Dr. Wily is laughing uncontrollably because now he has all the super programs he needs. So super. Such programs. He plans to combine the 4 programs to create, you guessed it, the life virus. With it, he can delete the world and get his revenge on the Hikari family. Meanwhile, Lan's dad asks us to check on Chad, who's been acting off and hanging out at Scilab. When we ask around, a scientist says Chad headed to Dentown, so off we go. We find Chad interrogating a woman, accusing her of being a World 3 member. She denies knowing anything, and he storms off, telling us to leave him alone. Frustrated, we decide to focus on finding the World 3 server address ourselves. Hixby helps us by giving us a memo with a code to access the Undernet, where the server is located. We jack into the net and enter the dark and ominous Undernet. Hixby emails us, explaining that we need 3 more memos from former World 3 members to unlock the deeper areas. The first memo is given to us by Hixby's friend at Scilab. The second memo comes from Miss Yuri, Miss Mari's twin sister, at the summer school. The third memo is from an old man in ACDC town, who reveals he used to be Dr. Wily's assistant. With all 3 memos in hand, we return to the Undernet and delve deeper. The viruses here are stronger, but we press on until we encounter MegaMan.EXE. We ask Bombman for the server address, but instead of cooperating, he challenges us to a fight. Battle routine. Set. Execute. Bombman summons bombs and kicks them across the grid. These bombs explode, damaging the entire row and column they're in. They can also chain react with each other. Fire chips are particularly effective against them, as they can ignite the bombs and deal extra damage. He also uses the mine chip, planting mines in our square. Thanks to our fire heavy folder, we manage to defeat him. Before disappearing, we snag the server's address, but Bombman self-destructs, severing the server's connection to the net. We head to Lan's dad to figure out our next move. Dad is reluctant to tell us the location, fearing that MegaMan could be deleted and the world plunge into war if we fail. Lan convinces him to trust us, and Dad promises us to find a way to track the server. That night, we sleep, but a cutscene shows Dr. Wily's lab. Yahoo warns Wily that Scilab has their location, but Wily isn't worried. He gleefully fuses the 4 super programs, creating the life virus. It's time for the final showdown. The next day, Dad emails us the lab location, but mentions there's no direct path there. Somehow, the World 3 keeps getting agents into the city. We investigate and hear a train passing beneath the school. Behind the school statue, we discover a secret door leading to an underground metro line. The metro pass we found at Hixby's store is expired, but Lan's dad fixes it effortlessly. After a touching phone call where Mom worries about us and Dad promises to keep us safe, we head to the World 3's base, a skull-shaped fortress built into the mountainside, complete with a rocket on top. Inside, we see former World 3 members tied up. We free them, but the base is locked tight, with multiple security doors. Each door is a replica of the dungeons we've already cleared. Door 1 is like the oven. Flames block the path, but Yai and Glide arrive to help extinguish them, allowing MegaMan to destroy the lock program. The second one is like the school network. We face password gates, including a 4-digit code that's impossible to crack in time. Thankfully, Numberman and Hixby come to the rescue, opening the gate for us. The third door is like the waterworks. Ice puzzles block our way, and the lock program is blocked by ice. Dr. Floyd and Iceman step in to help, clearing the path. The fourth door is like the traffic lights. At the end, a massive rock blocks the way, but Dex and Gutsman demolish it, letting us continue. Finally, we reach Dr. Wily's lab. A massive portrait of Wily hides a secret door, which MegaMan jacks into. The network is based on a Lekman's dungeon, complete with invisible paths. We hit a dead end, but Mail and Roll arrive, revealing hidden paths and explaining that Mail was the one who called everyone to help. With their assistance, we destroy the last lock program. But before we can jack out, Yahut's Navi, MegaMan.EXE, appears to challenge us. Battle routine. Set. Execute. Magic Man is a tricky foe. He summons viruses to fight alongside him, and hurls magic fireballs in rows. Our folder comes through once again, with 3 base chips, a heater chip, and some charged buster shots. We take him down. But Wily has one final trick. He uses data from the life virus to power up Magic Man. Before anyone can stop him, Magic Man fatally injures Mega Man. Proto Man arrives to delete Magic Man, but it's too late to save Mega Man. Chod gives us a file from Dad, the hub.bat. We get a call from Dad explaining that Mega Man's true identity is Hub, Lan's twin brother who passed away from a heart condition. Desperate to keep Hub alive, Dad used his DNA to create Mega Man. Lan is devastated, feeling guilty for putting Hub in danger. But Dad reassures him that Mega Man has always been proud to fight by his side. Lan uses the hub.bat, restoring Mega Man, and together they prepare to face the final battle. We go through the portrait, and there they are, the Rocket and Dr. Wily. He stands ready to destroy the world as revenge against the Hikari family. Dr. Wily reveals that he once worked on robots, while Hikari focused on networks. When the government had to fund only one project for an international competition, they chose Lan's grandpa's work. Now Wily plans to destroy the world built on that technology to exact his revenge. We jack into the rocket to confront the life virus. Battle routine. Set. Execute. The life virus is a tank. It has 1000 HP and a regenerating shield that requires 100 damage to break before you can hit it. It summons minions from 3 holes in front of it, each representing an element, and periodically fires a massive laser beam. After an intense battle using every chip in our arsenal, we finally delete the life virus. As the lab begins to self-destruct, we escape with Chod and Mail. Wily is left behind, laughing as the base collapses. Back home, our family and friends celebrate. Lan's parents flirt, and Mail teases Lan. Everyone points out that he is too dense. Mega Man tells Lan he'll have to wake himself up from now on, and everyone laughs. The house alarm goes off. Jack in! Mega Man, execute! Transmit! The end. But not for us. As you can see, we still have chips to collect. We're sitting at 108 out of 176. Don't worry, I won't bore you with the grind of finding every single chip. Instead, let's focus on the cool parts, the post-game navis and the secret final boss. Side note, sorry for the shift in video quality here. I forgot to record some parts and had to grab them from my stream. Thanks for understanding. The first post-game boss is PharaohMan. He's a tough opponent with a variety of tricky moves. He summons tombs which can unleash rock cubes, an exploding mouse, or a devastating laser beam. He places floor traps that when triggered shoots arrows down all your rows. He can also summon an Anubis statue that poisons the entire battlefield, dealing rapid damage over time. Next, we'll make an exception. To cover SharkMan V3, getting his chip is ridiculously hard. To achieve a perfect score, I had to resort to pause buffering, pausing every few seconds to plan my dodges. SharkMan remains one of the toughest fights I've faced. Then we took on ShadowMan, a seriously challenging Navi. He summons shadow clones that confuse your targeting. After you hit him, he teleports into the air and shoots 3 shurikens at you, and he also has a rapid attack that sends explosions down your entire row. Beating him took some serious grinding, but in the end we got all his chips. Finally, the secret post-game boss, Base. To even encounter him, you must collect 175 chips out of 176. Base has the same regenerating shield as the life virus. He stole it. He attacks with super fast buster shots in multiple patterns, making him incredibly difficult to counter. Plus, his design is just plain cool. For the ultimate move, we used Base himself to defeat Base. After an intense battle, we claimed the final chip, Life Aura. This chip grants the same 100 damage shield that Base and the life virus used. After that, we bought all the upgrades needed to hit level 100, and fought the life virus one more time to see this completed ending screen. And that's it. MegaMan Battle Network is an incredible game. Sure, the first entry has its issues, maze-like maps, and the inability to run from battles are common complaints. Though it's not one I have, I like destroying viruses. With a good map, this game becomes a lot more enjoyable. That said, I wouldn't recommend completing it. Some chips are outrageously grindy to get, but as a whole, the game is tons of fun, and I hope you enjoyed watching my journey. I'm looking forward to playing MegaMan Battle Network 2 for you all soon. Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. See you next time.